Has the impossible happened? Has someone finally topped the Ricky Gervais roast at the Golden Globes? Well, I'll let you be the judge, because Nikki Glazer certainly turned up the heat on the Hollywood elites in a few years that hasn't happened since Ricky did it. And especially after the recent election. Take a look at this and I think you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Good evening and welcome to the 82nd Golden Globes, Ozempic's biggest night. If you're watching on CBS, hello. If you're watching on Paramount Plus, you have 6 days left to cancel your free trial. I'm Nikki Glazer, and I am absolutely thrilled to be your host tonight. Thank you. And I gotta say, this feels like I finally made it. You know, I'm in a room full of producers at the Beverly Hilton Hotel, and this time, all of my clothes are on. So, yeah. It was worth it. Now, some of you may know me as a stand-up comedian and from my appearances on Roast, but I am not here to roast you tonight. I want you to know that, and how could I, really? You're all so famous, so talented, so powerful. I mean, you could really do anything. I mean, except tell the country who to vote for, but it's okay. You'll get them next time, if there is one.
Priceless, and trust me, this was much milder than what's coming next, because Nikki had just started to turn up the knob right there, but it stings even more now after the election, right? Over the course of the last 3 elections, Hollywood and its out-of-touch elite have been firmly put back in the bubble that they try to lecture people from on politics and society. And that means that with a star-studded campaign for Kamala Harris, the Democrats had most of the celebrities behind them, while ironically the Republican Party was able to court some of the strongest former Democrats like RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, and even Elon Musk. By the way, I'd love to know your thoughts in these conversations, so be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to join the circle. Now, what's funny is that this is the first time that Nikki Glazer had hosted the Golden Globes, with the pressure to meet the high bar that Ricky set for the roast in 2020 and before. And now after the event, we are learning that there's a lot more material Nikki had that she could have used, but stopped short because it would have been way too much for the Hollywood elites to handle. Though, of course, maybe you're already adding salt to their wounds when Nikki blasted Hollywood's Ozempic face crisis, with multiple celebrities looking like they're hardly even alive in a bid to lose weight and look good for the camera. But believe it or not, even this is just the beginning, because Nikki turned up the heat even more, to the point that many smiles started to vanish in the front rows.
Denzel Washington is here for Gladiator 2. Cynthia Erivo is here for Wicked. And Martin Short is here because we have cameras. I love you. Zendaya is here. Zendaya, you were incredible in Dune. Oh my God, I woke up for all of your scenes. You were so good. And Challengers, girl, oh my God, it was so good. I mean, that movie was more sexually charged than Diddy's credit card. I mean, seriously. Oh, no, I know, I'm sorry. I'm upset too. The after party's not gonna be as good this year, but we have to move on. I know it, Stanley Tucci Freak-Off just doesn't have the same ring to it, but no baby oil this year, just lots of olive oil, okay?
Ouch, you can tell that Diddy mention cut super deep, and Stanley Tucci's reaction here reminds me of Tom Hanks' reaction 5 years ago when Ricky was on stage, and you know what? This was one of those jokes that even Nikki Glazer thought twice about doing, and that's why she remarked before the Golden Globes that she hopes to carry on the time-honored tradition of Tina Fey and Ricky Gervais, even if that means getting canceled by Hollywood. And that certainly tells you something. I mean, even Diddy's lawyers lambasted her for that reference, so you can just imagine the heat she was prepared to take from so many different directions to make that joke. But of course, she knew when she was on stage that she had to be prepared for everything, and it showed.
I'm so excited to be here, and I really think this is like gonna be a very memorable evening, and maybe not even in the way that you think. I predict 5 years from now, when you're watching old clips of this show on YouTube, you'll see someone in one of the crowd shots and you'll go, oh my God, that was before they caught that guy. Like, we could be making history tonight and like, we don't even know with who. Like, he knows, you know, but, or she. It could be a woman, you know. I think 100% of the time it's a man, but it could be a woman. It won't be. It never is. kind of like Best Director. All right. Well, before we start handing out awards, I do want to remind you, if you do lose tonight, please just keep in mind that the point of making art is not to win an award. The point of making art is to start a tequila brand so popular that you never have to make art again.
But here's something more surprising. Even Ricky Gervais wanted to have part of the fun, poking the Hollywood bear with jokes that were too much even for the Golden Globes. Here's the jokes he wrote on X soon after the event that he would have told, ironically getting 1 million more views on X than the actual post by the Golden Globes. Quote, sat in the bath wondering about what I would say if I were hosting the Golden Globes on Sunday. It's been a pretty good year for material. Quote, hello and welcome to the 82nd Golden Globe Awards. What a year it's been. Hundreds of entertainers jumped at the chance to go to the Vatican to meet the Pope. Many from Hollywood, obviously, they weren't content with only being part of the second biggest child predator ring in the world. Quote, Kevin Hart said that being at one of Diddy's parties was uncomfortable as he would have left him alone. Eventually, he had to shout, I'm just short, not a child. And of course, who can ever forget the priceless way that Ricky Gervais didn't hold back even when he was standing right in front of them? Here's a refresher for the shockwave he created in Hollywood 5 years ago.
No one cares about movies anymore. No one goes to cinema. No one really watches network TV. Everyone's watching Netflix. This show should just be me coming out going, well done, Netflix, you win everything. Good night. But no, we got to drag it out for 3 hours. Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way. So in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up. I know he's your friend, but I don't care. If you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and f*** off, okay? So, it's already 3 hours long.
Truly a sight to behold and a reminder of just how much cultural power that these Hollywood elites have lost to the point of just becoming fodder for laughter. And they kind of brought it upon themselves by spending the whole last decade meddling into politics, making woke remakes that no one watches, and lecturing about things like climate and gender politics that they're laughably removed from. And it's about time that most of America had finally had enough of the cultural hegemony by Hollywood and did to it what happened to the mainstream media in the last 8 years. But let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this and where you think it's going to go from here, and share this with your friends and family to get the word out. I think this year is going to be flagged in history as a cultural tipping point when the true channel of influence became the average American voter, with an amplified voice in online media rather than the ideological bubbles of a few major industries like Hollywood.